This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Monday, the 30th day of June in the year 2025. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here is what we're tracking tonight. A Washington, D.C. lobbying firm which was hired by the government of Guyana at a cost of $50,000 per month has dispatched a series of draft tweets to U.S. Congress officials for them to use, all targeting U.S.-sanctioned businessman and presidential candidate for the We Invest in Nationhood Party, Mohamed. The lobbying firm Continental Strategy LLC was hired by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Guyana in December of 2024 for an initial period of 6 months at a cost of $50,000 per month. That's more than 10 million Guyana dollars per month. According to the firm's filing with the U.S. Justice Department as a registered foreign agent, it has agreed to provide lobbying services and government relations services to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs Guyana in connection with federal engagements and advocacy. In an email that was sent out on the 23rd of June 2025 by the partner of the lobbying firm, John Barsa, to the Director of Communications in the office of U.S. Congressman Carlos Gimenez, a total of 5 draft tweets were included for use by the congressman. The email formed part of the public filings with the U.S. Justice Department for the lobbying firm. The 5 draft tweets all target Mohamed and links him to Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, some of them describing Mohamed as a Maduro puppet. This afternoon, the U.S. Congressman Gimenez released a tweet on his X, formerly Twitter page, describing Mohamed as a Maduro puppet. In that tweet, which mirrored some of those sent to his office by the lobbying firm, the congressman stated that in the U.S. Congress, they are alarmed by the regime in Venezuela's attempt to undermine Guyana through its pro-Maduro puppet candidate Mohamed, who is sanctioned by OFAC. The Western Hemisphere, the tweet said, must remain a stronghold of freedom, not a breeding ground for communist dictatorships. One of the draft tweets submitted by the lobbying firm to the U.S. Congressman's office stated that Maduro's sanctioned puppet Mohamed's presidential run is alarming, adding that the Western Hemisphere must remain a stronghold of freedom, not a breeding ground for communist dictatorships. There are 4 other draft tweets that were sent by the lobbying firm to the U.S. Congressman's office for use. Another one stated that Venezuela's attempt to encroach into Guyana through pro-Maduro puppet Mohamed's presidential run is alarming. The Western Hemisphere, it stated again, must remain a stronghold of freedom, not a breeding ground for communist dictatorships. Another draft tweet submitted by the lobbying firm to the U.S. Congressman's office stated that U.S.-sanctioned businessman Mohamed, seen as sympathetic to Maduro-style politics, is running for president in Guyana. This is more than a local issue. It's a warning for democracy in the Americas, the draft tweet said. The partner of the lobbying firm, John Barsa, in his email to the staff for the U.S. Congressman stated that he was sharing the material, including the draft tweets, on behalf of the government of Guyana. All of the information, including the email exchange, was also filed by the lobbying firm Continental Strategy with the U.S. Justice Department. The hiring of the lobbying firm by the government of Guyana through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and that lobbying firm providing information for use to U.S. congressmen targeting a presidential hopeful in Guyana, could be seen as interference in local politics and interference in the upcoming elections. In response to a story posted by another news agency about the tweet on Facebook, international relations expert Neville Besemba stated that the congressman is a member of the lower house, not the Senate. He said, besides, U.S. foreign policy is articulated by the State Department, not a single solitary 71-year-old anti-Maduro Republican. Elections in Guyana are set to take place on the 1st of September. Mohamed, who was sanctioned by the U.S. government in June of last year, along with his father, their businesses, and Government Permanent Secretary May Thomas, announced his presidential run in May of this year, and has been busy on the campaign trail since then. 2 weeks ago, he unveiled the name and the symbol of his party. More news coming up in a moment.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look, you know the one, or one touch, even one word. I can start with one step or one promise, one thrill, one first time, one deep breath, one leap of faith, one day to remember, or one night to forget. One moment, so many stories that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life, just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Chasing a ride that takes you higher? Elevate your drive with the all-new Honda Elevate. Now at Marix, the Honda Elevate has a bold style, cutting-edge technology, sleek and modern interior, and intuitive controls that makes every journey feel elevated and comfortable. So, why wait? Drive a Honda Elevate today. It's brand new, 0 miles, 0 worries. Visit Marix, the home of Honda in Guyana, or call 226-1482 to learn more.
Welcome back. Let's tell you now that the Carter Center has launched an international election observer mission to Guyana ahead of the country's general and regional elections scheduled for the 1st of September. The Carter Center's pre-elections mission is arriving in Guyana today, the organization announced. The Carter Center was invited to observe this year's elections by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The pre-election mission includes a 4-person core team of experts from the US, Georgia, and the United Kingdom. In a statement, the Carter Center said additional electoral experts and observers will join the team closer to Election Day. The Carter Center said it looks forward to engaging with Guyanese stakeholders across the political spectrum and civil society to provide an independent and impartial assessment of the electoral process, adding that they hope their observation and reporting will help the Guyanese people assess the credibility of the elections while providing useful recommendations for reform and encouraging transparency. The Carter Center also said its election observer work is conducted in accordance with the 2005 Declaration of Principles for International Election Observation and makes assessments based on relevant parts of national legal frameworks, as well as regional and international obligations for democratic elections. Since 1992, the Carter Center has worked in Guyana to strengthen democracy, support civil society, encourage sustainable development, and reinforce the rule of law. Director of the Carter Center's Democracy Program, David Carroll, in a statement said the Carter Center has had a long-standing commitment to democracy in Guyana, and they are honored to launch the International Election Observer Mission in support of the electoral process. In its 2020 report on the elections, the Carter Center urged Guyana's political leaders to commit to reform the winner-takes-all electoral system, which is currently in use. It also recommended that critical issues of constitutional reform and key electoral reforms before the next elections, which is upcoming. The Carter Center has organized more than 125 election observer missions in 100 countries, including in Guyana in 1992, 2001, 2006, 2015, and 2020. President Irfan Ali has assured the government of the U.S. that his administration will put enormous resources into the fight to combat illegal gold smuggling, amid a stern warning from the U.S. about the threat of gold smuggling involving Venezuela. The president gave the assurance while delivering an address at the U.S. Embassy's 4th of July celebrations on Friday night at the home of the U.S. ambassador. According to the president, the U.S. reminded all of its partners, including Guyana, about the serious threat of gold smuggling posed by Venezuela.
And we have received that advisory today, and we want you to know that we are putting enormous resources into ensuring that the threat of illicit gold smuggling that can help to empower or safeguard undemocratic forces are uprooted with our partnership.
President Ali said through the Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs, the U.S. has initiated a number of initiatives to enhance law enforcement and security cooperation with Guyana and other countries within the Caribbean region. It was noted that the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding in March of this year during the visit of the U.S. Secretary of State underscores the joint commitment by both Guyana and the U.S. to address common security challenges.
The MOU builds on our long-standing partnership and aims to deepen collaboration in areas such as counter-narcotics and the fight against transnational organized crime.
The U.S. ambassador to Guyana, Nicole Theriot, in her address, said military and security cooperation between Guyana and the U.S. is stronger than ever. She said the visit by the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, was clear proof of the strength of their cooperation and the mutual commitment to their shared security.
This year, we've expanded our law enforcement partnership as well, with knowledge exchanges and joint activities involving the NYPD, FBI, and DEA, working hand in hand with the GDF, GPF, CANU, and SOCU. Our agencies work incredibly well together, highlighted by the DEA CANU seizure of thousands of kilos of illegal drugs in August. Joint operations like these strengthen our collective security and make Guyana a regional leader and a stabilizing force in South America and the Caribbean.
In its 2025 International Narcotics Control Strategy Report, the U.S. said gold smuggling in Guyana often facilitates money laundering, as criminals use illegal gold sales to disguise illegal funds, bypassing regulations. It noted that in the mining sector, money laundering methods include large cash deposits, using forged agreements of sale for non-existent precious minerals, as well as cross-border transport of concealed precious metals to avoid payment of the relevant taxes and duties. A new and united Guyana and the We Invest in Nationhood Party WIN have announced an alliance agreement for the upcoming elections, which will see ANOG falling under the banner of WIN. In a joint statement on Sunday, the two parties announced that the agreement was signed between the political leader of ANOG, Dr. Marc de France, and the political leader of WIN, Azruddin Mohamed. According to the joint statement, ANOG has officially joined forces with the We Invest in Nationhood Party under the WIN banner to contest the upcoming elections. The two parties said the step reinforces the growing strength and momentum of the WIN campaign. With ANOG's addition under the WIN banner, the movement gains valuable electoral experience and national reach, making ANOG the first political party to officially join the WIN platform, the statement said. Both parties reaffirmed their commitment to a clean, fair, and respectful campaign, and together they call on the people of Guyana to be part of the campaign. An official of WIN made it clear that under the agreement, ANOG is coming under the WIN banner, and it is not a coalition agreement. ANOG was one of the three political parties that signed and joined the agreement ahead of the last elections. However, the party never got a chance to take up the rotating seat in the National Assembly that they agreed would be shared among them. The leader of the new movement, Dr. Asher Kissoon, whose party picked up the least amount of votes among the three, took up the seat after the Liberty and Justice Party and never gave it up to allow ANOG to move into the National Assembly. ANOG was founded in 2019 ahead of the 2020 elections. And the co-founders and former political leaders of a new and united Guyana ANOG, Senior Counsel Timothy Jonas and Senior Counsel Ralph Ramkaran, both announced their resignations from the party on Sunday. The resignations from the two came hours after ANOG, under its current leadership, announced that it was teaming up with the recently formed We Invest in Nationhood party for the upcoming elections. Jonas and Ramkaran did not provide any reasons for their resignations. In a Facebook post, Jonas only stated that he had resigned from ANOG. In an earlier post on Sunday, Mr. Ramkaran admitted that he has not been active in the party and has not paid his party dues in almost 5 years. But he said if it is that he still remains on record as a member of the party, he is giving notice of his resignation. In an early morning statement announcing the alliance between ANOG and WIN, the two parties said the step reinforces the growing strength and the momentum of the WIN campaign.
A nation united for one powerful night of praise and worship. It's the One Guyana Worship Experience. Monday, July 7th, CARICOM Day at the Guyana National Stadium, Providence, starting from 6 p.m. Join us for an unforgettable evening featuring international award-winning gospel ministers Chandler Moore, Todd Dulaney, Samuel Midas, Renwick Dewsbury. Out of Jamaica, the viral sensation, Prince Saj, also ministering. Faith Korika, Cheryl Maloney, Timothy Roberts, Apostle Sean Sobers, Miriam Williams, Joshua Joe, and many more. The One Guyana Worship Experience, Monday, July 7th at the National Stadium. Admission is absolutely free, but you must secure your passes through your local churches, online, and designated outlets across the country. One nation, one people, one worship. The One Guyana Worship Experience. Don't miss it.
Your own home is so much more than just 4 walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank. We're the one for you.
New York City, summer is about to get hot. Saturday, August 2nd, SR Hamilton LLC presents Gospel Infusion. Featuring Samuel Medas, Psycho, Eddie Neblett, Sean Daniels out of Trinidad, Christelle Brandt, Sherilyn Maloney, DJ Kesta D,
Timothy Roberts,
and many more at the South Jamaica Multi-Service Center, 11402 Guy R. Brewer Boulevard, Queens, New York. Gates open at 4 p.m., showtime 5 p.m. Get your super early bird tickets for only $50. General admission $70. Pay more at the gate, and limited VIP $100 all inclusive. Come and experience the outpouring of God's grace Saturday, August 2nd. For more information, visit Gospel Infusion on Facebook and Instagram.
Washi. Hi people. Washing made so easy since I found Washi. Washing me use wash me clothes and I can say Washi soap powder wash clothes so nice. Washi soap powder leave your clothes color bright. Washi soap powder leave me clothes smelling nice, of course. So give thanks for Washi soap powder for doing my laundry right. Keep my clothes color bright. Have my clothes smelling nice for sure. I could not ask for more. Comes in lemon and original. It is a washing machine in a pack. Washi soap powder wash clothes so nice. Washi soap powder leave your clothes color bright. Washi soap powder have my clothes smelling nice, of course.
Distributors located in the Starbrook Market.
Maruma, get ready! The event of the summer, the official Maruma All Black Party, goes down on Saturday, July 5th at Maruma Settlement Ground. Come see live performances by Lola Doll,
like talk to me, needs them.
Omaya Hall,
tell everybody, this is a break.
Calvin Burnett, Music by Selector Andre. And Power King Sound System. Admission $5,000. Witness X Factor Dance Group Ignite the Stage. Remember, dress to impress. It's all happening on July 5th. The official Maruma All Black Party.
Bilateral trade between Guyana and the U.S. surpassed $4.7 billion in 2024. U.S. Ambassador Nico Therio disclosed during a celebration to mark the 249th anniversary of U.S. independence on Friday. Reflecting on the connections between the U.S. and Guyana, Ambassador Therio said the country's commercial ties continue to deepen and expand.
Over the past year, we've reached another milestone. Bilateral trade in physical goods alone surpassed $4.7 billion. A new record. The number of U.S. companies working with Guyanese partners continues to grow, along with sustained investment across many sectors.
She also said in 2024 alone, Guyana and the U.S. celebrated many new ventures, which included the launching of new companies and groundbreaking partnerships. The U.S. envoy said those ventures have influenced Guyana's growth economically, socially, and strategically.
Take, for instance, the government's astute decision to deploy U.S.-made scanners at all ports of entry, or the approval of Starlink to expand reliable internet connectivity nationwide. These are strategic moves that support a safer, more connected, and more secure Guyana. And we're definitely not slowing down. We're collaborating on critical infrastructure projects, including the transformative Deep Sea Port, Road, and Rail project. These are nation-building investments that can shape the trajectory of a country for generations to come.
She said as Guyana's preferred partner, the U.S. is honored to be part of that journey and stands committed to helping Guyana build its legacy of growth and shared prosperity. President Irfan Ali, in his address, acknowledged the U.S. as Guyana's preferred partner, noting their relationship and partnership is deeply rooted in the foundation of common values. The president said Guyana values its strategic partnership with the U.S. The U.S. and Guyana have shared diplomatic ties for more than 50 years. Pouring cold water on the president's recent announcement that his party, the PPP, will roll out a massive diversification plan for Guy Suko, co-founder of the Alliance for Change, Kemraj Ramjatan, said supporters of the PPP in the Sugar Belt should not be deceived by what he called propaganda. Last week, President Irfan Ali said Guy Suko would undergo massive transformation during a second term for his party in government to become a modern, sustainable contributor to national development. His announcement comes as the sugar industry struggles to meet its target, despite billions of dollars in investments. Responding to the president's announcement, the AFC executive Kemraj Ramjatan said the announcement is nothing but a political gimmick intended to hoodwink the citizens into voting for the PPP.
Again, it seems that the PPP wants to spend a massive set of money, and probably for electoral purposes too, on a sector that has gone down the drain in the most, what you can call the worst of its history, and wanting to spend and run the country down just to keep Guy Suko going.
President Irfan Ali, in laying out his plans for the sugar industry, said the APNU-AFC administration is responsible for the current state of the sugar industry, contending that its decision to close the Wales, Eastern Marara, Rose Hall, and Skeldon estates between 2016 and 2017 crippled the sugar industry. But standing by the APNU-AFC administration's decision to right-size the sugar sector, Mr. Ramjatan said it was the PPP government that brought the industry down to the ground during its 23 years in office between 1992 and 2015.
As we have said before, there are reasons why this industry was run down, and it was long before the APNU-AFC came into government that caused this. Monies from EU, European Union, over $100 million US, were never directed to rehabilitate factories and to do back construction work and drainage and irrigation in these estates.
Ramjatan also said when the coalition took office in 2015, the sugar industry was in a terrible state, and the decision to right-size the corporation Gaisuku was in keeping with a commission's report, a paper in the industry, and the advice of Errol Hanneman, an expert who had led the corporation.
And he had made it quite clear that right-sizing was the way to go forward with that sugar industry, so that at some point in time we can make it profitable. Namely, merging of estates, but also the what you call phasing away of certain factories, and we had identified those. Because what was needed was good support for the factories that could have made it.
It was noted that between 2015 and 2020, the coalition government spent more than $42 billion in Gaisuku. Ramjatan is of the opinion that the younger generation is not interested in working in the sugar industry because of the nature of the job and its backbreaking character. Gaisuku has long spoken about its push towards mechanization, but Mr. Ramjatan said the reality is the soil types and the terrain within the estates are not compatible.
Then the capital investment needed for what is called for all the deteriorating structures that are there will be too massive. But most of all would be the price in the world market for sugar. We will continually, even with all, if we solve the problem of capital investment, we'll still have a price in the world market that will be lower than our cost of production. And to that extent, it is quite clear that the country will not have a good future with sugar.
Warning that changing CEOs would not help, Mr. Ramjatan emphasized the need for the right sizing of the industry, even as he urged the PPP support base not to be misled by their party. In a short and terse one-paragraph letter of resignation, opposition Member of Parliament German Figuera tendered his resignation on Saturday from the People's National Congress Reform, and also as an APNU-AFC Member of Parliament. Figuera, who hails from Linden and was the regional representative for the APNU-AFC in the National Assembly, did not offer any reason behind his decision to PNC Reform and Opposition Leader Aubrey Norton. However, it was long suspected that he would have stepped away from the party, as there appeared to be issues between him and the party's leadership. While Figuera was the first MP to christen Norton as the next president of Guyana, just after Norton was elected opposition leader and took up his seat in the assembly, the relationship appeared to have become strained over the past 2 years between the two. That relationship soured even more when the party group in Linden under Figuera's leadership was dissolved, as it had not held the elections and meetings in more than 2 years. Figuera was later removed as opposition MP, shadowing the Culture, Youth and Sport Minister. However, he was kept on as the chairman of the powerful Public Accounts Committee in the National Assembly. In Linden, some party followers had accused him of distancing himself from the APNU-AFC and the PNC and aligning himself more with the government in the town. It was noted by one party insider that while he would be absent from party functions in the town, he would often be seen at visits to the community by the president and other leading officials of the government. Region 10 Chairman Darren Adams, in a statement to News Source on Saturday night, thanked Figuera for his work in the party and as a representative of the people of Linden, and offered him best wishes as he moved forward. At Friday's APNU press conference, Mr. Norton said Figuera was invited to be part of the APNU's list of candidates for the upcoming elections. Figuera has now moved on, possibly to another place in local politics.
The EDGE series comes alive this July in Guyana. 3 sporting disciplines, 3x3 basketball, table tennis, and criterium racing. Teams from across regions compete for a total prize pool of over $2.5 million and the title of champion. The Edge Series. Are you on the edge?
And I'ma do it again. Watch me.
Prostate cancer is one of the most common cancers in men, but early detection can save lives. So, who needs to be screened? If you're 50 or older, it's time to talk to your doctor about screening. But some men need to start even earlier. Your risk is higher if you have a family history of prostate cancer. Screening may be recommended as early as 40 years. Screening is quick and can include a PSA blood test or a simple exam. It's the first step in catching prostate cancer early, when it's most treatable. Don't wait. If you're at risk, get screened. Because taking care of your health means being there for the moments that matter most. Screen early, live fully.
Turbo with a new look, new style, with the same great taste in the 250 ml can. Everybody run out now. Go and go grab one. Me charge up with a turbo 250 ml at your favorite spot. Wait, sell. New look, new can, same vibes. Jinxing, energize up your life. Vibes up, work time, anytime we are turn up the party with turbo can. Turbo can, turbo can, turbo can. Now available in the new 250 ml can. Turbo energy drink. Charge up today.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guyana is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guyana's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial and aerial transportation. Guyana has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
With your regional and international news tonight, I am Svetlana Marshall in the region. Cuban lawmakers are set to pass a landmark bill overhauling Cuba's civil registry in July that would allow trans people to officially change their name at will, eliminating bureaucratic hurdles that have long made the process difficult, if not impossible, for many. Trans people in Cuba interviewed by Reuters said they had previously been asked to provide, as evidence of the need for a name change, a sworn statement providing society already recognized the individual by their chosen new name, to have no criminal record, and even to present certificates from workshops or events in which the applicant participated under their preferred name. The bill, likely to be passed before the month ends, would mark a major step towards legal recognition of the LGBTQ community on the Caribbean island. It follows the 2022 approval of Cuba's Family Code, a law that greenlights same-sex marriage and adoption by gay couples. Brazil's government will launch an investigation into suspected export dumping of some hot-rolled steel products from China, India, and Indonesia, its official gazette said on Monday. According to Reuters, preliminary studies have found the sufficient evidence of dumping as well as resulting damage to its domestic steel industry, the document said. Steelmakers in Latin America's largest economy have long complained of an unfair playing field, saying that China floods the market with cheap material and calling on the government to do more to control those imports. And finally tonight, international news. Israeli strikes killed at least 60 people across Gaza on Monday in some of the heaviest attacks in weeks, as Israeli officials were due in Washington for a new ceasefire push by U.S. President Donald Trump, according to Reuters. A day after Trump called to make the deal in Gaza and get the hostages back, Israel's Strategic Affairs Minister Ron Dermer, a confidant of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's, was traveling to Washington for talks on Iran and Gaza, according to an Israeli official and a source familiar with the matter. Dermer was expected to begin meetings with Trump administration officials on Tuesday, the source in Washington said. But on the ground in the Palestinian enclave, there was no sign of fighting letting up. The Israeli military issued evacuation orders on Monday to residents in large districts in the northern Gaza Strip, forcing a new wave of displacement. Explosions never stopped. They bombed schools and homes. It felt like an earthquake. A 60-year-old father of 5 from Gaza City told Reuters. Israeli tanks pushed into eastern areas in Gaza City and shelled several areas in the north, while aircraft bombed at least 4 schools after ordering hundreds of families sheltering inside to leave, residents said. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall, wishing you a pleasant evening.